Tales from the Abyss. True deep-sea horror stories. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet's surface, yet we have explored less than 5% of its depths. What lies beneath the waves, in those dark and crushing pressures where sunlight cannot reach, has fascinated and terrified humanity for centuries. The stories you are about to read are based on real events, documented encounters, and verified accounts from those who have dared to venture into the abyss. These are not tales of sea monsters or ancient myths, but true stories of the ocean's darkest mysteries and the people who faced them. Story 1. The Bloop, 1997. In the summer of 1997, the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration detected something that would haunt marine researchers for years to come. Using an array of underwater microphones originally placed to monitor Soviet submarines during the Cold War, scientists picked up an extremely powerful, ultra-low-frequency sound emanating from the South Pacific Ocean. The sound, later nicknamed the Bloop, was unlike anything ever recorded. It rose rapidly in frequency over approximately 1 minute and was powerful enough to be detected by sensors over 5,000 kilometers apart. When researchers analyzed the audio pattern, they found something deeply unsettling. The profile matched that of a living creature, not geological activity or man-made sources. Dr. Christopher Fox, chief scientist of the NOAA Acoustic Monitoring Project, compared the sound signature to known marine mammals. If it is a biological source, he stated carefully in interviews, it would have to be far larger than a blue whale. The blue whale, at up to 100 feet long, is already the largest animal ever known to have existed on Earth. For years, the Bloop remained unexplained. Speculation ran wild. What kind of creature could produce such a sound? How large would it need to be? And most terrifying of all, where was it now? The Bloop originated from a remote point in the South Pacific at approximately 50 degrees south 100 degrees west, an area roughly 1,750 kilometers off the coast of Chile. This location is disturbingly close to the fictional coordinates of R'lyeh, the sunken city from H.P. Lovecraft's writings, though this is surely mere coincidence. Researchers who listened to the slowed-down recordings described feeling an inexplicable sense of dread. One technician, who wished to remain anonymous, later reported having recurring nightmares about vast shapes moving through darkness after spending weeks analyzing the sound data. In 2005, NOAA officially concluded that the Bloop was likely the sound of an icequake, caused by large icebergs fracturing and cracking. This explanation satisfied many, but questions remained. Why did the sound signature so closely match biological patterns? Why was it never heard again, despite continuous monitoring of the same area? And why did several other bloops of smaller magnitude continue to be detected in the following years, none matching the icequake explanation as neatly? To this day, the original Bloop recording remains one of the most mysterious sounds ever captured from the ocean depths. The equipment that detected it has since been decommissioned, and we no longer monitor those waters with the same intensity. If something truly massive swims in those depths, we might never hear it again. Story 2. The Last Dive of the USS Scorpion, 1968. On May 22, 1968, the nuclear submarine USS Scorpion was scheduled to arrive at Naval Station Norfolk, Virginia, after a 3-month deployment in the Mediterranean. The submarine never arrived. Aboard were 99 crew members, all experienced sailors who knew the risks of submarine warfare during the Cold War. The Scorpion's last known position was transmitted on May 21. After that, silence. A massive search and rescue operation was launched, but the Atlantic Ocean is vast and deep. For 5 months, the Navy searched fruitlessly. Then, in October 1968, a Navy research ship located the wreckage using deep-sea photography. The Scorpion lay in 9,800 feet of water, southwest of the Azores. The submarine had been torn apart. Its hull was split, sections scattered across the ocean floor like a child's broken toy. What happened to the Scorpion remains officially classified and unexplained. The Navy's investigation concluded it was likely due to a torpedo malfunction, but many involved in the search and analysis have come forward with troubling details that suggest something far stranger. Dr. Robert Ballard, the oceanographer who later discovered the Titanic, was part of a team that photographed the wreckage. In later interviews, he described anomalies that disturbed him. The way the hull was damaged, he said, suggested extreme external pressure from multiple points, not an internal explosion. More disturbing were accounts from crew members of the research vessels that located the wreckage. Several reported that their sonar equipment picked up strange signals near the wreck site, rhythmic pulses that didn't match any known marine life or geological phenomena. One sonar operator, James Wheeler, later wrote in his personal journal about detecting what he described as massive objects circling the wreck site at depths that should be impossible for any known submarine. The photographs taken of the Scorpion showed something else unusual. In several images, researchers noticed what appeared to be deep scoring marks on sections of the hull, parallel grooves that some suggested looked almost organic, as if something had gripped the submarine. These observations were noted but never officially explained. Perhaps most unsettling were the accounts of the recovery divers who descended to the wreck in later years. One diver, speaking anonymously years after retiring, described an overwhelming sense of being watched during his dives. "At those depths, in that darkness," he said, "you're not supposed to feel anything but cold and pressure. But I felt something else down there. All of us did. Like we were intruding on something's territory." The Navy continues to insist the Scorpion's loss was due to mechanical failure. The full investigation reports remain classified. The families of the 99 men lost have never received complete answers. And in the decades since, other submarines have reported unusual sonar contacts near the Scorpion's final resting place. Contacts that appear and disappear without explanation, moving at speeds no known underwater vessel can match. The Atlantic's depths keep their secrets well. Story 3. The Encounter of the Johnson Sea Link, 1973. In June 1973, the research submersible Johnson Sea Link was conducting routine biological research off the coast of Florida. The vessel carried 4 people, 2 researchers in the forward acrylic sphere and 2 in the aft aluminum compartment. They were exploring at a depth of 360 feet when disaster struck. The submersible became entangled in the wreckage of a destroyed destroyer escort, the Fred T. Berry. As the crew struggled to free themselves, they faced a race against time. The 2 men in the rear compartment, which lacked the insulation of the forward sphere, began suffering from hypothermia and carbon dioxide poisoning. Rescue efforts were launched immediately, but it took 31 hours to free the submersible. By the time the Johnson Sea Link was brought to the surface, both men in the rear compartment were dead. The tragedy was well documented and became a cautionary tale in the deep-sea exploration community. But there was something about those 31 hours that the survivors never fully disclosed publicly. Something that haunted them for the rest of their lives. Dr. Robert Meek, one of the survivors in the forward sphere, gave only brief interviews after the incident. He died in 1991, but a colleague later revealed that Meek had confided something strange to him years after the event. During those long hours trapped in darkness at 360 feet, both survivors reported seeing something moving beyond their lights. At first, they thought it was rescue equipment, but the shapes they saw didn't match any known submersible. They were larger, much larger, and moved with an organic fluidity. Meek described seeing what looked like a massive, elongated form pass within feet of their trapped vessel, something that created its own bioluminescence that pulsed in patterns that seemed almost deliberate. "It was aware of us," Meek allegedly told his colleague. "I know how that sounds, but it came back multiple times. It was studying us, the way we might study a specimen. And the sounds." He never finished that sentence. The other survivor never spoke of the incident in any detail. But researchers noted that he resigned from deep-sea exploration immediately after recovery and never entered the ocean again. More disturbing is what happened in the years following the incident. Multiple submersibles reported unusual encounters near the site of the Johnson Sea Link entanglement. In 1975, a Navy deep-sea vehicle recorded sonar images of what they described as an extremely large biological mass moving near the wreck of the Fred T. Berry. The images were analyzed and then classified. In 1988, 15 years after the incident, a research team descended to the same area. Their mission was to study deep-sea coral formations. They spent less than 30 minutes at depth before surfacing rapidly, claiming equipment malfunction. One crew member later broke his non-disclosure agreement to state that they had encountered something that made them feel like prey, and that their instruments had picked up low-frequency sounds that seemed to be communicating. The Johnson Sea Link itself was retired from service in 2011. Some of the crew who operated it over the years reported that the vessel never felt quite the same after that fateful dive. Instruments would occasionally malfunction near the old entanglement site. And more than one operator reported hearing unexplained tapping sounds on the hull during dives in that area. Tapping that followed rhythmic patterns that didn't match any marine life or ocean current. Story 4. The Phantom Signals of the Mariana Trench, 2016. In March 2016, filmmaker James Cameron completed his historic solo dive to Challenger Deep, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans at approximately 36,000 feet below the surface. His mission was to capture footage and collect scientific samples from this alien world. What he brought back was remarkable footage of a desolate but beautiful landscape, inhabited by strange creatures adapted to crushing pressures. But there was something else he brought back. Something that wasn't in the documentary. During the 3 hours Cameron spent at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, his submersible's instruments detected anomalous signals. These weren't the normal sounds of the deep ocean, not whale songs from far above, not the settling of the Earth's crust, not the creaking of the submersible itself. A member of the technical crew who reviewed the acoustic data later described the signals as structured. They appeared at irregular intervals but contained repetitive patterns that suggested intentionality. When analyzed by cryptographers and linguists as an informal exercise, some noted that the signals had properties consistent with information transmission. "It's probably nothing," the crew member said in a leaked email. "Natural processes can create apparently ordered sounds. But I've listened to ocean recordings for 20 years, and I've never heard anything quite like this. It almost sounds like a conversation. Like we were listening in on something not meant for us." The signals were never officially acknowledged. Cameron's team released statements saying all acoustic data was consistent with known geological and biological phenomena. But researchers noted that similar signals had been detected by other deep-sea expeditions to the trench. In 2014, during the Nereus unmanned submersible's dive to Challenger Deep, the vehicle's instruments picked up similar patterns. Hours later, at a depth of 6.2 miles, the Nereus imploded. The official cause was determined to be structural failure due to extreme pressure, but some engineers noted that the vessel had successfully completed the same dive the previous day without incident. The debris field from the Nereus was never fully recovered. Some pieces that were retrieved showed unusual damage patterns that several engineers privately noted didn't seem entirely consistent with simple implosion. Deep scoring marks appeared on some of the ceramic components, marks that seemed to have been made by something sharp dragging across the surface with immense force. More expeditions have descended to Challenger Deep since then. In 2019, Victor Vescovo completed multiple dives in his submersible, the DSV Limiting Factor. He and his team reported no unusual incidents. However, in one interview, Vescovo made an interesting comment. "There are moments down there when you feel very small and very alone. But sometimes, you don't feel alone. You feel observed." It's probably just the psychology of being in such an extreme environment, but it's a feeling I've never quite shaken. Scientists who have analyzed acoustic data from the Mariana Trench continue to detect unusual signals. Some researchers believe these are simply unknown geological processes or creatures we haven't yet identified. Others are less certain. The trench is deeper than Mount Everest is tall, and we've only explored a fraction of its expanse. Whatever might exist in those crushing depths would be so adapted to that environment, so alien to surface-dwelling life, that we might not even recognize it as living. And if something down there is aware of our brief visits, if it's intelligent enough to observe and wait, we would have no way of knowing. The ocean keeps its deepest secret 7 miles down, in cold and darkness beyond imagination. Story 5. The disappearance of the research vessel Yang Di Zhi, 2007. In the spring of 2007, the Chinese research vessel Yang Di Zhi was conducting deep-sea mineral surveys in the South China Sea. The ship carried a crew of 23 and was equipped with state-of-the-art deep-sea sonar and remotely operated vehicles. On April 12, the vessel sent its routine evening communication, reporting normal operations. After that, silence. When the Yang Di Zhi failed to report in the following morning, rescue operations were launched. What they found 3 days later was disturbing. The vessel was located 40 nautical miles from its last known position, drifting with its engines stopped. When rescue teams boarded, they found the ship completely abandoned. All 23 crew members were gone. There were no signs of struggle, no blood, no indication of what had happened. Personal belongings were left behind. Wallets, phones, even cigarettes still burning in ashtrays. Food was still on plates in the galley, as if the crew had simply vanished in the middle of a meal. Most unsettling of all, the ship's remotely operated vehicle was missing. The ROV had been deployed and was never recovered. The cable had been severed, not at the surface, but thousands of feet down. Analysis of the frayed cable end suggested it had been under tremendous tension when it snapped, far more tension than any known underwater current could create. The official Chinese investigation concluded that the crew had abandoned ship during an emergency, though no distress signal was ever sent and all life rafts remained aboard. This explanation satisfied no one, especially the families of the missing crew. Years later, a technician who had examined the ship's recovered data logs leaked some disturbing information online. According to his account, the ship's sonar had detected something massive rising from the depths in the hours before all communication ceased. The object was tracked ascending rapidly from over 4,000 meters depth. It was enormous, larger than the research vessel itself, and moving with purpose. The sonar returns didn't match anything in the database, the technician wrote in his post, which was quickly removed. Not a whale, not a submarine, not any geological formation we knew of. And the way it moved, it accelerated upward at a rate that should be impossible for anything biological. The last entry in the log noted that the object was within 50 meters of the hull. Then the recording stopped. More disturbing were accounts from fishermen working in the area around the time of the disappearance. Several reported seeing strange lights beneath the water that night. Not the normal bioluminescence of plankton or jellyfish, but larger, more organized patterns that pulsed in the depths. One fisherman, who refused to give his name, told reporters that the lights seemed to be rising toward the research vessel. In the months following the incident, several other research vessels working in the South China Sea reported unusual sonar contacts. One vessel, according to a leaked crew member account, picked up what sounded like metallic scraping on their hull during a night dive operation. When they surfaced and inspected the hull, they found deep scratches in the steel that hadn't been there before, scratches that seemed to have been made by something with immense strength. The area where the Yang Di Zhi was found has since become informally restricted. Few research vessels venture there, and those that do report a vague sense of unease. Some crews have reported equipment malfunctions at specific coordinates, instruments failing, sonar giving impossible readings, cameras capturing only darkness even with high-powered lights. The 23 crew members of the Yang Di Zhi were never found. No bodies ever washed ashore, no remains were ever recovered. They simply vanished, along with whatever they encountered in the depths of the South China Sea. Epilogue: what lurks below? These stories are just a small sample of the documented encounters and mysterious events that have occurred in Earth's oceans. For every incident that becomes public, dozens more remain classified or unreported. Every year, research vessels detect anomalous sonar returns, submersibles capture strange footage that defies explanation, and sailors report encounters that challenge our understanding of what lives in the deep. The ocean is not empty. In those vast depths where light cannot penetrate and pressure crushes everything we know, life has found ways to survive and thrive. We have discovered creatures that shouldn't exist by any known biological rules, fish that live at depths we thought impossible, organisms that survive without sunlight or oxygen, creatures so strange they seem alien. But what else is down there? In the trenches and abyssal plains, in the midnight zone where human eyes have never seen, what might be watching our vessels pass overhead? What intelligence might lurk in those cold depths, adapted to an environment so hostile that we can only visit briefly in our metal shells? The ocean covers most of our world, yet remains largely unexplored. We have better maps of Mars than we do of our own ocean floor. And perhaps that's for the best. Perhaps some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved. Perhaps some depths are not meant to be explored, but still we venture down, driven by curiosity and courage. And sometimes, just sometimes, we encounter something that reminds us that we are visitors in a realm that belongs to others. Others who were here long before us and will remain long after we're gone. The next time you look out at the ocean, remember, beneath those waves lies a world stranger and more terrifying than any we could imagine. A world that has barely been touched by human presence. A world that keeps its secrets in cold, crushing darkness. And sometimes, those secrets look back. The ocean truly is full of mysteries we've yet to solve. If you like the true story, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and share this story with your friends.